Hello. In this lesson, we'll learn how to implement presets. Presets are ready-made movement or pose settings that you can save and reapply at any time. Instead of manually repeating a set of adjustments, such as raising an arm, closing a hand, tilting the head, or positioning facial controls, you save all of this in a single preset. Then, with one click, the character returns to that exact pose or performs that specific movement. Here we'll focus more on facial presets, but the method works for other parts as well. Before we start defining presets, we need to separate the bones of the head so that the mouth, eyes, forehead, and other preferences have their presets on different layers. To do this, select any bone and go into Face Setup and expand the Rollout Face Setup mode. In Face Layer, you'll see a list of names. By default, all bones are set to the name None, meaning they are on the same layer. For this lesson, we'll create 3 layers: mouth, eyes, and forehead. Select a number of bones that are part of the mouth movement and rename them in the face layer to mouth. Do the same with the forehead bones and rename them to forehead. Next, with the eye bones defined as eyes, exit Face Setup and let's start adding presets. Expand Rollout Presets and in Preset Groups, add a group named Expressions. In Preset Name, type Opened. This will be a simple preset, just with the mouth open. When a preset is created, the character's current pose is immediately registered. Notice that just opening the jaw and clicking on Update Preset already gives us a defined movement. Now refine the pose by adjusting the jaw bones until you achieve the desired result. Now selecting the forehead or eye bones, which are from another layer, notice that we have already added some presets. Selecting one of them from the list and moving the Motion Preset button, which is a slider, you can test them more precisely. Returning to the mouth layer, let's add another simple preset called smirk and define it. Now add a new preset group called talking. This group will store all speech presets, which follow specific naming rules. Each preset label must have 1 or 2 capital letters. Labels with 2 letters must be preceded by a consonant and followed by a vowel. More than one label can be defined in the same preset, separated by a space. Labels may or may not contain hints, and these hints must always begin with a hyphen. We will not show here how all the presets were made, only some examples. Let's start with the vowels labeled A, E, I, O, and U, obviously. Create a preset with only the label A, then we'll change it by adding some hints. For the label A, let's copy the opened label from the expressions group just to show the copy command, and then we'll refine it as follows. Now, notice that the labels E and I have already been added as well. So let's move on to O. The labels B, M, P, and all their derivations like BA, MI, and PU, so let's move on to C, or rather, CA. For the label CA, let's simply copy the movement of the label A, then slightly reduce the jaw opening. This way, when the CA movement is produced, there will be a difference between the C and the A, causing a slight natural visual vibration between the closing of the CA label and the opening of the A label. This technique can be used for most labels. Copy the vowel movements, paste them onto the relative consonant movement, make the modifications, and update the label. For the CU label, we'll use the same technique employed for the A label. Let's rename the CA label to show how all the changes have been made. Simply select the preset and, in the preset name field, change the label name, add dials and the IPA symbol if desired, and finally, click Rename Preset. Now, we have the necessary presets for speech on one layer and expressions on another layer. As a demonstration, we applied some presets to the hand and arm, but they can be added to any part. In the Advanced Face Presets lesson, we'll explore the speech-to-text feature, where you can literally type commands, test the animation, adjust the timing and intensity of the movements, and apply the keys exactly where the speech will occur.